Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today I am putting together a halo to wear on a young lady's head. She is actually graduating from college and they wanted a halo, a floral halo for her to wear. So I am actually going to make it out of some different flowers and I wanted to show you what I've got. I've got some white spray roses here. So these are just small spray roses. We often use this size rose for corsages and boutonnieres, flowers to wear, flowers to carry, those types of things. I've also got these yin yang daisies. So a yin yang daisy is just a very petite daisy. It's in the mom family, a tiny little daisy with a little dark center. I really love a yin yang daisy. They're just so fun and pretty. I've got a little bit of baby's breath. So I've taken everything and I've cut it up into small pieces to make it easy to put together. And then I've got some eucalyptus. So little tiny pieces of eucalyptus. So let me show you first how I have prepared my roses and my daisies. So I'm going to I just took and popped a small bloom off of my stem. I'm going to go ahead and remove any of the petals that don't look pretty. I'm just taking and pulling off any of those petals that don't look pretty. If they've got a bump or a bruise, go ahead and remove anything that doesn't look nice. I'm going to take, so this is, I believe this is 28 gauge wire. It's hard to see, it's really tiny. So I'm going to take it and I am going to cut it up in 3 pieces. I'm going to divide it into thirds. And I am going to take this little wire. I'm going to hold my little rose and I'm going to run the wire right through the calyx of that rose. So the calyx is actually the tiny little swollen green part right up underneath the bloom itself. I ran that wire just right through that calyx there and I'm going to bend it down. Next I'm going to take a little bit of floral tape. So this is called corsage tape. Corsage tape is a paper tape that has been infused with a little bit of wax. So what it does is it sticks really well to that stem. So I just kind of pinched it there at the top and I'm twisting and pulling it down. So it just kind of sticks. Now this takes a little bit of practice. It's not so easy, but I'm just taking it and pulling it down and twisting that flower. So I have wrapped that stem with a little bit of corsage tape. I'm going to do the same with my little stem of daisy, my little single daisy. So I'm going to take it, I've cut my stem really short. It's about 1 inch in length. I'm going to take my wire, the same gauge, 21 gauge, and I'm just running it right through the stem of that daisy. I'm pushing it all the way through up to the top of that daisy. There you can kind of see, here's the wire just sticking right up through the daisy. Go ahead and pull that wire and then I'm going to bend it over and kind of make a little fish hook. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's bent over kind of in a fish hook. And I am going to push that fish hook right back down into the top of that daisy and pull it down. So I'm going to step a little closer to you so you can see. So I pulled it, let's see if I can get it to focus for you. I pulled it right down and you can see that there are 2 pieces here where you can kind of see it. So now I'm going to go ahead and tape it. And I'm just doing it the same, I'm just taping. I've pinched it right there at the top of that daisy. I'm holding it with these 2 fingers, I'm twisting and pulling. Twist, pull, twist, pull, twist, pull. All right, so I have my roses and my daisies wired. Now let me explain to you the reason I decided to wire them. I was afraid if I just cut the stems just like this and just laid them into this halo, my heads may fall off. And so if you wire and tape each flower, it pretty much guarantees that those heads won't fall off quite as easily, okay? It usually, so I don't know if you've ever made a boutonniere or a corsage, but a lot of times with a boutonniere and a corsage, you will take a corsage pin and you'll pin it right through that stem. Now the reason we wire and tape it is because it secures the head onto the stem, so even if I break the stem down here, my head's not going to fall off if it's wired and taped. And so that's what I needed for these flowers. I just needed to make sure that my heads weren't going to just pop off. I'm going to start making this arrangement or this corsage with one piece of that 28 gauge wire. I'm going to take it and I'm going to make a little eye hook down here at the bottom. Now this is where we're going to tie our ribbon so that we can tie it around her head. It's going to have just ribbons kind of going down the back. So what I did was I kind of made a little loop and I'm just twisting that loop. You need me?
Okay, where is hers done?
Yes, it's those pinks and purples.
Okay,
It's these.
she doesn't have to have them right now.
They're ready. Yes. Okay, so I've made a little eye hook. And again, let me show you one more time what I did. I'm taking that wire and I'm bending it over, just like that. And then I'm going to pinch it and I'm going to twist, just to make a little eye hook. And that hook, that little, it's just a little hole there that I'm going to tie some ribbon to tie around her little head. Okay, so here's what we're going to do next. Is I'm using the eye hook at the top. I'm just going to hold it there. I'm going to take a little piece of greenery. I'm going to strip down some of those sleeves and I'm going to lay it right on top of that wire. Okay, and then I'm going to take a tiny piece of baby's breath. And I'm just going to lay it right there on top of that greenery. And you're just going to layer it, okay? Next, I'm going to take another piece of wire and I am going to just wrap that wire right around that greenery so that that greenery is going to stay right in place. I'm going to take a flower. We're going to take a rose. I'm going to lay a rose there. And I'm going to trim up that little stem just a little bit so I don't have so much to cover. I'm going to take a little bit more baby's breath and a little bit of greenery. And I'm just layering it, okay? I'm going to take that wire that's already attached and I'm going to just wrap it right around those flowers, okay? So it's just wrapped on that stem. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to take a little bit of greenery and a little bit of baby's breath. Take my stem of my wire and I'm going to wrap it right around. I'm going to take a daisy. I'm just laying it right in there. A little more baby's breath. So it's just really a layering technique. You're just going to layer and layer and layer until you get it as long as you want it. And the greenery you can just take and make it small. You know, just take it and cut it into smaller pieces. A little bit of greenery, another rose. I'm going to take another piece of wire. I'm going to start with it because I used all of that other. I'm going to take it and just wrap it, wrap it, wrap it. A little piece of baby's breath. So it's just a constant layering, but you're just going down the original wire. Once you run out of that original wire, I'm going to show you how to add more wire to continue the halo. Okay? Add a little more greenery, a little more baby's breath. Take your wire and just wrap that greenery and baby's breath right onto the existing wire. Okay? Next I'm going to take a daisy. And it has that, it's a wire base, so it bends and it'll go into a circle pretty easily. You shouldn't have any problems getting it to bend however you need it to. Now you can make this as full or as sparse as you would like. It's just all about layering whatever you're going to put into it. Most of the time for these little halos, we will take and use just baby's breath or filler flower. But you can see how I just keep going until you get it as long as you need to. And it is a little time consuming. It takes time. Throwing all my stuff on. Okay, and so I'm just continuing to layer. Just continue to layer, get it as large or as long as you would like. And so just layer and layer. Okay, so I have run out of room on my original wire. So my original wire is only about this long now. And so I've run out of room. So now I'm going to take and add another length of wire. So I'm just taking this piece of wire and I'm just attaching it. Well, if I don't pull it too hard, I'm just attaching it. The wonderful part about the roses, the flowers being on wire, is that I can manipulate them and kind of move them. So once I get it tied in, if anything needs to move, because all these flowers are on wire, we're not going to have any problems adjusting them. We're not going to break their heads, which is always good. So see, they're all kind of, we can manipulate them a little bit. When working with fresh flowers, you always want to be pretty careful. I mean, we sure don't want to break them, do we? So always be a little careful when working with fresh flowers, because you certainly don't want to break them. And so I'm just continuing to lay it on that stem and tie it on with the other wire. Okay, so it'll be laid on her head just like that. So I think it's just about big enough. So what we're going to do now is to finish it off. I actually have 2 more flowers that I'm going to tuck in here because there's no need in wasting them. They've already been wired, so we're going to go ahead and use these 2 daisies. Okay, I'm going to go and grab some ribbon and we're going to finish off this arrangement. Okay, to finish off this halo, we are going to take some maroon ribbon. So this is going to be worn at graduation. So our colors, our school colors are maroon and white. So we're going to take this maroon ribbon Okay, so there are our streamers, and what we will do is we will just take and tie this into a bow. Okay, and so I'm going to lay it right on my head and show you. So it will be laid right on her head, and the streamers will come down just like that behind her back. Now, the wonderful part about the streamers done like this is it can be loosened up, so it can be larger for her head or it can be smaller. Guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. If you have any questions about how I put this together or how we do anything here at the flower shop, please don't hesitate to ask. And if you would do us a favor, if you have not subscribed to our channel, be sure to hit that little subscribe button right down below. And there's a little bell that will give you notifications when we have a new video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you real soon.